Remember, if you're going to pick your nose, you can't be talking at the same time.
Where's the camera?
Until early on.
Put my
Yeah, yeah, right now, for whatever reason, everything's just converging. And it's like that until right now, mid-April, and then things kind of dissipate, so. Just trying to get to mid-April. You know exactly.
Okay, you said that Howard Schaefer was on there.
He's in the room. Would you like for him to speak?
I wonder if we could try talking to him to see if he can understand us. Was my goal.
Okay, I'm asking him to unmute his microphone, which will allow him to talk.
Yeah, the sound quality is excellent.
The sound quality is excellent. Great.
Yeah,
All
much
right.
improved over last Monday night.
Perfect.
Good, thank you. All right, go ahead.
You're all set, Chris? Okay. Welcome to the March 10th, 2022 Town of Lake Luzerne Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Let us all rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item, Lori, could you call the roll?
Burgess Ovitt,
Here.
Real Zubo,
Here.
Annie McMahon,
Here.
Jamie Moeller,
Here.
Matt Palich.
Here. We have three items on the agenda tonight: a new variance application for the Zappas for 26 Colony Drive, review of minutes of previous meetings, and new old business. And with that, I'd like to get right into the application. The Zappas are on the phone, correct?
Correct. Can you hear us all right?
But sort of, yeah. We just asked, are we on the call? I think I heard that.
Okay.
The first item on the agenda is your variance application. Would you like to summarize your request?
Yeah, you're asking for a summary of the request?
Correct.
Heidi, you want to just be able to deliver the summary?
Essentially, we plan to add a bedroom, a bathroom, and an exit to the existing structure. But because of the shape of our property, we need to get a variance of about 3 feet and a few inches. I think it's 10 maybe. And our property is a little unusual because there's a small strip of land between the side yard of our property and the road that's actually owned by our neighbor. So it's probably easier for you to look at some of the drawings. It's not a usable piece of land, really. I think it's probably, I mean, it varies in width, but goes from, you know, a few inches to maybe 6 or 8 feet. And that's part of the reason why we have this problem.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
Not yet.
Okay, with that then, I'd like to get right into review of the application.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, sorry, we didn't hear
All
that.
right, hold on. How about if I put my phone up by you?
All right,
And if you need to, you can put your mic down by phone if you need to. You may not need to.
Don't be ready, the mic to get a little closer. They don't have a good proximity. You gotta be.
okay, Mr. Zappas, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going over your application, page 1, property address 26 Colony Drive, Lake Luzerne. This is subject to review by Warren County Planning Board because the property is within 500 feet of the lake, and the lake drains into the river, and the river is part of the New York State watershed.
Okay.
County map ID number, applicant Sam Zappas, 7021 Kenley Road, Baltimore, Maryland. Looking for a variance to chapter Article 5, Section A, side yard setback for an HR zone. Under the history of the property, purchased the property in 2018 from a former longtime owner. We fixed it up, and after 3 attempts to fix a hole in the roof, we had the whole roof replaced in the summer of 2021. Our family uses it during the spring and the summer. Proposed action is the addition of 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and rebuilding or expanding the deck. Side yard variance of 3 feet 10 inches on Tomahawk Drive. Side of the property is requested. Question number 1, describe how the requested variance will not alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent properties. The answer is proposed construction is consistent with the other additions to homes in our neighborhood. The architectural style, materials, and color will blend in with the other structures. The variance is toward the side of the property the other owner cannot use for practical purposes. What Mrs. Zappis was referring to earlier, if you go to the parcel, the parcel appears to be on Colony and Tomahawk, but there is a strip of property on the Tomahawk side that belongs to the adjacent property owner. So they are only on Colony. They are not on Tomahawk.
Okay.
Describe what alternatives have been explored to achieve a solution other than variance. We worked with the designer and downsized the original plan, yet still had a problem because of the unusual shape of the lot and placement of the original construction. Explain whether this requested variance is substantial. The requested variance is less than 20%. The construction would not be within the 10-foot setback that cannot be used because of the 10-foot setback of the existing structure on the other side. Number 4, describe how the requested variance will not have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. The existing trees and most shrubs will be preserved, and additional plantings will be used to take up the increased runoff. Question number 5, describe how the requested variance is not self-created difficulty. Because of the configuration of the existing structure and the elongated pentagonal shape of the lot, there is no other solution except to add a second floor, which the current structure cannot support and which would block more of the lake view. Then is the application attachment. Anyone have any questions on the variance application thus far?
No, everything looks fine to me.
Okay.
I agree.
Rhea?
I'm happy with it.
Burgess?
I agree.
If you go into the packet, first drawing depicts that pentagonal shape that they're referring to. The front of the property is facing Colony Drive. And then you have 4 other sides, which have been determined that the side in as we're looking at it in this drawing, the right rear side is the rear lot and the left side is the side lot. So it has 1 front, 1 rear, 3 sides. The setback request is for the side which is on Tomahawk.
Mhm.
The side which is on the it headed towards the adjacent property, the tricky property, that side meets the setback requirement. Next page is a schematic of the actual structure showing the additions as described in the application. And the setbacks, which are very difficult to see here, but they were easier to see on the electronic copies, which you've all received. Following page is elevations, the proposed structure. Any questions on the elevation?
No,
Then pictures of the property. From Colony, which is the front of the house. And then the next picture is from Tomahawk. Can't see it in this. I took this picture. You can't see it in this, but there is a retaining wall on the edge of the property. And the reason I took this is because if you look at that retaining wall, you can more clearly see that parcel, that small parcel of land which separates Zappa's property from Tomahawk. So it is not a corner lot. For that complete packet. So the purpose of us being here this evening is to determine if the application is complete and either to accept or reject the application as complete. So I'd like to go back to page 2. Go through the various standards. First question, describe how the requested variance will not alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent structures. I believe that answer is complete. Jamie?
yeah, question's been answered.
Annie?
Questions answered.
Rail?
Question answered.
Burgess?
Question answered.
Question number 2. Describe what alternatives are explored to achieve a solution other than a variance. I'll read it. We worked with the designer and downsized the original plan, yet still had a problem because of the unusual shape of the lot and replacement of the original construction. Questions answered.
Questions answered.
Questions answered.
Happy with it.
Questions answered.
Question number 3. Explain whether this requested variance is substantial. The requested variance is less than 20%. The construction would be within the 10-foot setback that cannot be used because of the 10-foot setback of existing structure on the other side. That's a little confusing.
Lots confusing.
Lots confusing. Well, having gone over this, I understand what he's saying, having gone over this with Karen. The side setback requirements for the HR zone that they're in is you can have 10 feet on one side, but 30 feet total. So if you've got 10 on one, you've got to have 20 on the other.
And no
So
less than
they
10.
can't, yeah, you can't use the 10 on both sides. Is that what you're trying to say, Mr. Zappa?
Yes, correct.
Questions answered as far as I'm concerned.
Answered.
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 Describe how the requested variance will not have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The existing trees and most shrubs will be preserved and the additional plantings will be used to take up the increased runoff. Why don't you go first this time, Jamie?
No, the question's been answered. Thank you.
Annie?
Questions answered.
Rail?
Answered.
Burgess?
Answered.
Question 5, describe how the requested variance is not self-created difficulty. Because of the configuration of the existing structure and the elongated pentagonal shape of the lot, there is no other solution except to add a second floor, which the current structure cannot support and which would block more of the lake view. Questions answered.
It's complete.
Complete.
Answered.
Answered.
Anyone else have any additional questions on this application?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application.
I'd like to second.
This is accepting as complete.
Yes.
Abbott,
Yes.
Zubal,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Moeller,
Yes.
Palach.
Yes.
Matt, I would just like to add that they are exempt from seeker under section 617.5 C 16.
Okay,
And the referral to the county planning is in process. They have it. I just have not received an answer back yet from them. And I believe, Mr. Zappas, you have started the process with the jurisdictional inquiry with the Adirondack Park Agency, correct?
I submitted that last week.
Yep. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing on this variance application 2022 AV-1, Sam Zappas, 26 Colony Drive, side yard setback, for April 14th at 7:05.
I'll second that motion.
Abbott,
Yes.
Zubel,
Aye.
McMahon,
Aye.
Moeller,
Aye.
Hallich.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Zappas, the next part of this will be that in April on the 14th, we will have a public hearing. I have to send out notices to the adjacent neighbors, which I know that you have already contacted yourself. And I have to post it in the newspaper, and the public has the right to make any comments that they wish, either at the meeting or in my office in writing or by talking to me on the phone, and that will be discussed at the next meeting.
And then what happens in the next meeting? After that discussion is tabled.
Can I answer that, Matt?
I'm sorry, after the discussion is tabled?
Discussion is tabled, yeah, that after the meeting's over, you've received feedback or comments from the public, what happens then?
Depending on the nature of the comments, the board will then make a determination as to whether to grant the variance or request additional information or deny the variance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have any other
Okay.
questions?
We're all set, Mr. Zappas.
Okay, great. And before we jump off the call, I just wanted to tell the group that Karen has been very helpful and professional and assisting us to get all this information together and present it to you.
Thank you for that comment.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye, thank
Good
you.
night.
Sure, bye-bye.
Moving along, the next item on the agenda is review minutes of previous meetings. Lori, do we have any meetings? Any minutes?
No,
Well, that makes that one easy.
Check.
And new old business. I'll do old business first. I know Karen put it out in the notification for the meeting, but Mr. Mensch has decided not to pursue the application for the height variance for the accessory structure on Lake Tour Road. So they are rethinking the entire process, and we may see something back in the future with that at a different location, but he is not pursuing action at this time.
Okay.
And under the category of new business, I would like to read a letter. Actually, I wouldn't like to read a letter, but I'm going to read it anyway. To all members of the Town Board, Planning Board, and Zoning Board of Appeals, I've decided to resign as Secretary of the Planning Board effective immediately, and Zoning Board of Appeals following the March 10th meeting. With the volume of work in the town clerk's office, I feel this is necessary to focus on only on my position as Deputy Town Clerk. Respectfully, Laura Holcomb. Lori, I understand your concerns. Sorry to see you go. You've been a great help.
You've been a very asset, Lori.
thank you.
You'll be missed.
I just need to scale back a little bit. I've got a lot going on,
No, totally understand.
work-wise and personal-wise. So it's been tough since my dad passed away, and
Mhm.
so I just feel it's better for me a little bit too.
Oh, totally understand. You have to take care of
It's
yourself.
been great working with everybody, though.
Anyone else have anything additional?
I was just going to touch on what the board is looking at doing to replace Lori. I don't know it's a couple of options. They're looking to possibly hire someone to do the minutes of both the planning board and the zoning board. Or if we have to, we may have to ask one of the members on the board to take the minutes and transcribe them both. But we're working on trying to get someone as a replacement, but we'll work through it as we go as to what's going to happen. They're going to discuss it at the town board meeting Monday night, I believe. So I'll know more then how it's going to go.
Chris, these are on live feed. Is this recorded also?
YouTube, yes. I checked the signal, sounds good.
Okay, good.
So could the recording of this suffice as minutes for this meeting?
No.
Can be used as a tool, but it can't take the place of a secretary.
Okay.
So like a recording, tape recording can be used to go back and verify what was said or who said what, but can't fill in for it.
Okay, thank you.
The town board's just gonna have to step up and fill the seat with somebody. That's all. I mean, it's not our job to worry about that.
Yeah, they're aware of it already. And they are looking for someone.
Anyone have anything else?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. I know.
Just fold